Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back. This is Renegades React, and this is going to be the cringe-worthy part 2 of Attack of the Clones. I am sorry.
Do we have to do it?
But
we have to.
You're here. I'm here. We're here.
Are we?
Let's get this started.
Okay.
I think it is time we inform the Senate that our ability to use the Force is diminished.
Whoa, what? Where did that come from? And even if it's true, why would you tell the obviously corrupt Senate? Also, this movie uses the word Senate, Senator, and vote more than it uses the word Force.
That's a bad sign.
That's so
That's
bad.
Knows of our weakness.
Thankfully, he's not also the Supreme Chancellor. I mean, phew, could you imagine?
Yeah.
No,
Whoa.
Good
Got that
thing.
right.
I saw my mother.
Thank God a vision came to Anakin to go save his mother. I just wish it could have happened about 30 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, I don't have a choice.
You're right. You have no choice between ignoring your dream mom's drama and continuing to honor your non-dream pledge to hide and protect Padme. Fate is forcing your hand, as it often does, through vague dreams. Dad! No! Whoa, what the hell is going on? How did we get here? Obi-Wan fistfights with this dude instead of force choking him or force pushing him or any of the other non-hand-to-hand force attacks.
bare knuckle
of course,
boxing.
I remembered to bring my throwable homing beacon that instantly sticks to anything I throw it towards. Also, the world of Star Wars is one in which a homing beacon like this can just casually be tossed on your ship without said ship's sensors picking it up whatsoever. Shouldn't rain be hitting the lightsaber and producing little puffs of smoke?
Yeah.
You know where they are now.
Oh, that would have been
It's
such
amazing.
a cool
even
little
with
detail.
That would have been
the
really
training
cool,
and
actually.
peacekeeping he's done over
No,
10
not
years.
that
There was
guy again.
one time he was
Oh,
allowed to
Watto.
fly over
He
to
looks like he's in
Tatooine
his
and visit
safari
mom.
gear.
You must have put a homing device
That
on
is
our
kind of a
hull.
crappy
They
move that he
do
hasn't been able
realize
to
they're
visit
being
his
tracked,
mom.
but only after they arrive at their destination. Inconvenient.
Jedis are jerks,
This is a clear
man.
case where the challenge is way too high for anyone to survive it. Therefore,
Oh,
you just sit in the
man.
theater wondering why Obi-Wan isn't dead.
The
From
sound
my-
that those things make is awesome.
From my perspective, the Jedi's
Ladies
are
and
the
gentlemen,
evil
tell me
ones.
Yeah,
why is it
pretty
in
much.
Star
They're
Wars
kinda-
when the bad
they're
guys'
just
ships fire
dirtball,
the good
man.
guys' ships,
Yep.
the lasers go all around the ship instead of at least one blast.
I was going to say,
Once
those
again,
sonic-
something
those
easily
seismic
catches up to
charges
another
are
something.
awesome.
They're like
yeah,
the
in Rogue
further
Squadron,
distance
tearing
when it's
everybody
50
up
feet
with
away.
them.
Well, we won't be seeing him again.
Rogue Squadron.
Overly cocky Jango Fett is overly cocky.
Oh, Boba's
Hey,
so
I
cute.
remember that scene. I just noticed something. There's really no reason R2 couldn't have come on this mission. All he's doing right now is following Padme and Anakin around. I'm pretty sure R4 is the red R2 you look for in toy stores at this point.
Stay with the ship, R2.
Why did you even let him out?
I am C.
3PO.
Through Watto sold me to some other person, and she decided to take the incomplete C-3PO with her, and someone decided to finish the job?
Owen Lars, this is my girlfriend, Baru.
Let me get this straight.
Baru.
The powers that be decided that Luke would someday come to live here, even though Anakin met Owen and Baru? You didn't think that would be a huge risk? What if Vader decided to come back to the old homestead for whatever reason?
Oh,
Not that I'm
that's-
complaining, but Padme decided to wear the super hot ab-bearing outfit to go meet Annie's mom. The editing is
It was
confusing.
better than
we
what
were
she was
logically
in
following
before. It
Anakin as he
looked
seeks
kinda
bloody
like
revenge
a-
against the
like a
Tusken Raiders who
seaweed
killed his mom.
sandwich,
And
kind
this
of.
scene makes us think we're still following
know,
him,
man.
but no, we're suddenly on an entirely different planet following
Yeah,
Obi-Wan.
the choppy editing there.
the
just-
Commerce
just like,
Guild
what?
and
The editing is so bad in that
signed the
movie.
treaty.
Just
Both,
once I'd like to see
all
somebody
three of them,
hiding in a
really.
corner somewhere, and the bad guys aren't talking about the
Christopher
most
Lee as
important essence
well,
of their
damn.
plan in earshot.
Sad to
Just
hear that
once,
he
I'd like
died,
to hear they
man.
had bagels
Yeah,
for
he's
breakfast.
such a boss.
Furthermore, the guy
He was
Honestly-
old as hell,
Jango
too.
Fett
He
was
was
like
like
90
the
years
only
old
good
when
thing.
Count Dooku
Yeah,
was
like
in
in
the
the,
movie.
like he
He
really
decided to
like
walk around, find a
was
secret
awesome
opening in the mountains,
as-
and stumble on the
Count
plot of the
Dooku.
movie.
Like, he
Count
didn't
Dooku
ham it up
walks
or
right past
anything.
the
yeah,
Jedi.
it's like
Does
just
not
like a
sense
Sith
it.
Lord. He was
Well,
like
Well,
on
it was like he was back
In the
playing
grand tradition of
Dracula.
the
Yeah,
old-time
basically.
Star Wars
He's
canon,
like Space
Trini held on
Dracula.
long enough for one
With a
last
lightsaber.
Also, Anakin watches
Surely
his
you
mother
can
die because something dark side motivation.
Honestly, I
something.
suddenly
This
want
movie
Space
doesn't earn the
Dracula
dark
with
side
Christopher Lee.
transformation of Anakin. He was a whiny
Well.
kid for most of this movie, and now he massacres a
That'd
bunch
be
of
sick.
Tuskens. Had someone been here to
Anakin
stop him,
grew
and
up
that need for revenge
become
festered in his heart, then
Darth
next time would be a good
Vader.
time for a massacre. Most of everything we know about Anakin was talked about, not shown, and this comes off as a rush.
It does.
Yep.
Suffering.
Oh, now you
Yeah,
can
but
sense
apparently
stuff a
your ability
galaxy
to use the
away.
Force isn't good
Well,
anymore.
it's so powerful.
what can you trust?
The emotion is powerful.
I feel.
More powerful with you it is. Maybe I should act like I do. What's the bigger sin here?
Very nice.
Bad guy bug thing stumbling upon Obi-Wan? Or Obi-Wan parking his ship out in the goddamn open like this? Anakin takes his dead rotting mother into the house because Jedi reasons, and also disease.
Why'd she have to die?
She probably didn't, but you left her alone here as a slave on this planet to pursue your own Jedi goals. What did you think was going to happen to her? Happily ever
You
after?
just see the
I
turmoil
will be
in his
the
face.
most
He's
powerful
just trying to
Jedi
act
ever.
so much.
This is pretty much par for the course as to why we hated this performance.
Yep.
We kind of want Anakin to start being a colder person. Definitely a lot less whiny at this point. More
Yes.
Darth Vader-y. Instead, our brains keep referring to their shut up section.
Yep.
I killed them all.
Don't use the pronoun game, Annie. Using the pronoun game leads to the dark side. And she still had sex with him after this, for some reason.
And not just the men, but the women.
Yeah, it had
and
to be the rat
children, too.
Anakin can somehow tell Tusken women and children from the men. I'm not even mad.
At least he
That's
didn't call them
amazing.
younglings.
I'm a Jedi.
Thank God. That's a stupid name.
I know
That
I'm
word.
better than this.
Oh,
They should just call
And
them
this is the only time we see
the
Anakin
best-
struggle
the
with the
best
good and
and
bad of his
worst thing
feelings.
ever, man.
Everything else has been dark side and want to screw Padme.
I miss you.
So much.
Lucas asked him to deliver this line as though his dick got cut off halfway through. He also knew Lieutenant Carey would eventually grow his dick back, so he's not super concerned about it, but he wants to seem like he is.
Carrying
like-
a message from an
I mean,
everyone.
I was going to say,
It's like, Kristen, come here.
people put a lot of
Master
bad
Andy, does that
juju
make me
on
an
Hayden
individual?
Christensen
I
for
wonder
this
if he means
performance,
old Ben.
but George Lucas wrote the part.
Yeah, the
to the droid foundries and Geonosis.
I mean, he was
Despite the
screwed
fact
from the
that Django
start,
completely
truly.
disappeared
But
from the action,
I think he
But
could have. I
still.
think he could have done
Completely
good
part of the
with
plot
it.
that is
I
important
mean,
for all
look,
good guys
it's
to know.
like, you could
hologram
be,
action sequence.
He's like my father.
I don't
You heard
know. I
Master
don't feel
Windu.
like
He
I can
gave me
forgive him
strict
still.
orders to
I mean, you
stay
give
here.
Tony Hawk
And
a
Obi-Wan gave you
skateboard with
strict
two
orders to
wheels,
stay
and
on
he's not
Naboo.
gonna
And
go
we saw how that worked.
do very
Why the
cool
fuck is
stuff. I
C-3PO
mean,
suddenly on this mission?
True, but I feel like it's a
Senator
perfect storm
Amidala.
of all terrible things like mixed
Entire
together.
sequence of
in a-
events leads to Jar Jar
Yeah.
making an
casserole
important
of
decision in the
horrible.
Senate to give Palpatine more
just-
power.
I'd have
Also,
assassinated
yeah.
Jar Jar right
Oh my
here.
God.
did he know that Padme
Yeah,
would
that
appoint
was
the
the
dumbest
real missed
character alive to
opportunity
be her
right there.
replacement when hit the fan? How awesome would this be if Dooku had been in the first movie, and the first movie wasn't the first movie? How many awesome
Yeah.
backstories are we like to
That would be
imagine
really
while the
awesome.
story leaves us wanting?
The dark side of the Force
Oh,
has
that's
clouded their
Ugh.
vision, my friend.
Again, how?
well, I was
Perfect
gonna
time to
say
explain this
him,
bullshit.
Tony
And immediately
J,
goes on to the
Tim
next subject.
Curry,
Wait, this is an exhaust
all,
vent they
like,
landed in, right?
all
Do
have the
exhaust
best
vents usually have
voices.
perfect landing platforms for ships?
They're all British,
Where are you
so
going now?
go figure.
R2 decides to go against orders and leave the ship anyway.
So they got-
something he must only be doing to piss off
Yeah, they got
C-3PO
James
at this
Earl
point,
Jones in the
because
first
at no
one,
time
too.
has
Oh, yeah.
R2
They got
shown a
great
tendency
voice
to go
talent
against
here.
orders since the
Yeah.
new trilogy began. Conveyor belt of dangerous industry cliche. Also, this is the most video gamingest
I
movie scene
started
I've
to say
ever
this
seen.
was like
Just
some
to sell
really-
a video game. I guess R2 knew that this would turn out okay. What a psychotic little bastard. Hey there, Star Wars fan. FYI, R2-D2 can fly.
Fuck you.
That would have been handy when they were fighting Jabba.
Yeah.
He's always getting himself into trouble.
How do you know that? You've only known R2 for a couple hours.
no.
And don't give me he knew him from the first movie crap either, because 3PO was an off-and-on incomplete robot the entire time.
I'm so confused.
Maybe that explains why you aren't funny anymore.
This is some really bad CG, even for them. Like, it's been so long since I've...
Just
movie
seeing
is
it
an
now, man,
asshole.
it's
That is the
painful.
very definition of cheating in filmmaking, you fucker. This is equivalent to telling your mother you have terminal
Oh, that's
cancer,
where The
and then
Walking
she starts
Dead got it
sobbing, you
from.
trash talk about how you pranked her and how stupid she is. Give me a break. Why would there be anything like this sitting around in this random part of the factory? And once again, R2 compatible. I still can't figure out why Django
I was
even
gonna
needs
say,
to be
they
here.
should, like,
On
show
one planet,
different
he's the guy they used to make
endings for,
clones.
like,
On another
R2's,
planet, they're
like
making army
R2's,
bots, and he's here
port.
because Obi-Wan needed to catch a
if
break.
they all have the exact same one,
thought
it's
that
just
we had
like
It's like everything can be unlocked really easily.
You see why the
yeah.
romance
Instead,
should have taken off a
R2
lot
has
sooner?
like
There's
all the
basically
different
40 minutes
ones.
left in
Like
this
they
movie, and they're
installed
still
them in
trying to
them
resolve
and gave
this.
them all the protocols to unlock.
Yeah, yeah.
And this comes out of nowhere.
Where did that come
George
from?
Lucas thinks people talk this way. Also, Jedi skip. Our heroes luck out and are taken to an arena to be executed.
Oh,
instead
yeah,
of
they're
simply getting
like,
killed on the spot.
"We're gonna
Movie
die,
unintentionally
so let's
inspires
make
John
out
Carter.
before we
I might be
die.
scared of these things if they didn't look like Tex Avery drawings put into the Weird Science Machine and donated to the Umbrella Corporation.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Character breaks
Just
the fourth
now.
wall to talk to the audience
And
about
this
the film
reminded
itself.
me of the
This creature
Thunderdome.
basically didn't want to kill Amidala, just make her sexier. Nobody seems particularly
Yeah, that cut
concerned that one of the
just
prisoners is
made
free.
it- tried
This
to
thing
make it
is
look more
terrible at
sexy.
thinking.
I mean, blood is sexy.
Bullshit. Also, simple
Hey, I
kick to
find
the
it
chest
attractive when a woman
incapacitates
has the
this
ability
heaping
to kick
mound
my
of
ass.
psychosis.
Well,
Hey,
that's
George,
true.
while we're here, humanizing Boba
Quoting
Fett was
Spike
one of the
Spiegel
stupidest
from
ideas
Cowboy
you had in
Bebop
these
Indeed.
prequels. And that's saying something. Aren't these animals weak-minded enough so they can Jedi mind trick them? Or is that just a human-to-human interaction? Obi-Wan pokes at the beast instead of just force-throwing the spear into its brain. Ow, my vagina!
You're impossibly outnumbered.
I don't think so.
How did these robots know to start coming down the hallway? Everyone in power is here, and no one gave an order or pressed a button or anything that would make a robot army start
Also,
coming
why
down here
didn't he just
dramatically.
kill Dooku?
And why only
Because
4 of them?
Dooku was right
Star
there.
Wars
Right
finally gives us a
Yeah, I mean, and they
nerdgasm
hadn't
scene
started
with
shooting
dozens
yet. I
of
mean,
Jedi
honestly,
and
if like
lightsabers all
a
at
beam
once,
came
and I'd take
down
a scene or two off,
at the
and
hallway
had
and
to sit
he had
through
to
2
block
movies
it, I'd
of mostly
understand
boring
Dooku
bullshit
getting
to
away,
finally get
but
this. Since
Yeah.
you enjoyed this
Yeah,
in Phantom Menace so
overthinking
much,
it.
Lucas ups the
Oh,
ante
yeah,
with even more
logic.
Jedi
Lucas
versus
hates
copious
that.
amounts of CGI
true.
droids. Why did the drone
It's
with
his
a
worst enemy.
C-3PO head decide to march into battle? Doesn't his mind work differently? Wouldn't he
Yes.
just go lie down somewhere until all this was over? Jesus Christ. Skip! Django Unchained. Basically, these things
I'm
don't even
sorry
need heads
for
if they have
this.
no control with them all.
I'm quite beside myself.
I hate you and I wish you would die. First off, this is too many goddamn shots to
I'm
block.
sorry, that was
Second,
pretty good.
and maybe more importantly, Padme doesn't have a lightsaber. How does she live?
Look!
Eagles? What was that, Yoda? I couldn't hear you
man.
over
To the
the battle
forward
of this ship
commands
and your
enter,
three
take
Hackaday
me.
voice. So if his dad's head had fallen out of the helmet right here, would he have been even more traumatized? Or, you think he would have laughed a little? Because, come on, that's funny. Also, the birth of Boba Fett might have been cool if that asshole didn't get casually tossed in a Sarlacc. Okay, Sam, you're
Yeah.
running, there's all sorts of battle going on around you, we'll fill that in later. The Death Star is apparently fully operational in like 20 years. They must have had 1 million contractors working 24/7 on that thing. Cerebrum aside.
Shoot him down!
We're out of rockets, sir.
You are not. Why are you even still flying around then? Why didn't you tell anyone that before we got to this point?
You're gonna pay for all the Jedi that you killed today, Dooku.
Saying things. Electricity. Curiously, a trait only dark side Force users have. What a f***ing surprise. Is that the 50th limb cut off in this franchise? He could finish them both off right now, or at least Obi-Wan if he knows where Anakin is headed, but decides, nah.
The dark side I sense in you.
Which
this
I
was
somehow
sick, I'm
can't
sorry.
sense when I'm on Coruscant
Yeah.
when
This moment.
Palpatine is around. And we've established
I
we've
remember
lost
when
much of
Yoda
our
came
Force
in, I
power,
was like,
but
oh boy.
I can
This is
now.
the only scene I
Yoda
really
finally pulls out a
remember.
lightsaber.
Yeah,
He finally
same
fights.
here.
It took 10
Remember
hours
we're
of
in a
Star
good
Wars to
light.
finally see this, and I'm
It-
torn because he's a
Boom.
bastard CGI
The
creation.
CG is
Why does
actually
this guy
pretty
need a
good.
cane again? Here was a glorious chance to see 3 Jedi all combining their Force power together and stopping this ship from flying. Or, as we said before, why can't Yoda just stop this ship himself if size doesn't matter?
Yeah, for real.
This thing is smaller than Luke's
Size
ship in the
matters
swamp.
not.
The Force is powerful, but is no match for an internal combustion engine. Everybody goddamn misses. Let's talk about Palpatine's plan.
It's like the
It required
stormtroopers, it's like they
Amidala to be
became
taken
the
off the planet so she couldn't vote on the Military
right, man.
Creation Act. Then she had to make Jar Jar Binks her replacement, who was then passively bullied to request a vote granting unlimited power to Palpatine. Then the Jedi have to stumble on a poison dart that was
So it's
only
all
used
Jar
because
Jar's
another
fault.
assassin failed. A dart that only a diner owner could verify.
It sounds
Then
so
Palpatine
bad.
removed the planet from the archives, which required
Yeah, when they
more
actually
sleuth work.
explain what
Then,
it
when
is.
Obi-Wan went to the cloner planet, the people there showed him the entire plot, no questions asked, which led him to Django. Django had to curiously leave for another planet where the droids were
Who
being
could it
manufactured
be?
so that Obi-Wan could relay that message back to the Republic. And only then could they get the ball rolling. Without all
okay,
that,
Nate?
what did he
Not
plan
much
to
more.
Begun.
You'll get through it.
The Clone War has.
do? Did
And
Yoda
they
just name this
showed
war?
none of it.
Or did the Jedi have some prophecy that warned of a clone war? I mean, who gave him the authority to name wars and shit? Do you? Yes. Do you?
That was
Dude,
pretty
I, like,
heavy-handed.
Totally did already.
Yeah.
Lots.
Jesus.
Pretty low.
Oh!
Actually. Oh.
You've changed. You've changed.
You've changed.
My goodness, you've grown.
Whoa.
Beautiful, I mean.
You've grown up. Don't try to grow up too fast.
But I am grown up.
You've changed so much.
You haven't changed a bit.
Times two.
Oh, I grow up so.
Jesus.
Oh, yes. Yes.
D-Lim.
Your arm's off. No, it isn't.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what
And
are
of
they-
course,
what-
the after credits.
That is so great, man.
Holy shiznit. Jesus, this is bad.
Yep.
Like, right now, I'm hurting.
Earn this. Earn it.
You've grown up.
Because you're grown up and you're grown up and you're grown up.
Over the first billion years, the universe continued to expand and cool as matter gravitated into
Neil
these
deGrasse
massive
Tyson.
concentrations we
Oh
call
my
galaxies.
He would wipe his ass with this movie, man. Oh my
Endless
gosh.
fields.
I don't think he would
Where human
he would
beings
insult
are
his intelligence. by watching
That's
this.
probably true.
Jesus.
We are grown.
Again with the
A is
Matrix.
for Axiom, your home sweet home. B is for
By and-
large,
by
your
and
very
large.
best friend.
Oh.
It's a romantic comedy.
Do it.
Yes!
Those things freak me out.
Nothing but Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
See, no matter what, Bill Murray just shows up in the craziest places.
Stop all the clocks. Cut off the telephone. Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos and with muffled drum.
You, sir, truly are Mr. Incredible. I always knew you were tough, but tricking the probe by hiding under the bones of another super? Oh, man!
You got me monologuing.
About it.
It's a better show!
Whoever wrote this episode should die!
Put these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
Yes.
See? You could only hold it in for so long.
Jesus, wow, that was painful. But that ending part always
man.
gives a little bit of relief.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Feel a little bit of life back.
oh
in there.
yes. So, wow, Jesus.
This is actually funny that we watched this because earlier today at work, our part-time guy, he came in and he's a huge Star Wars fan. And I completely forgot about Zam in this movie. And he was like, so man, he's like, would you?
No.
And I was
Before or after?
And I was like, and I forgot she was a changeling. I was like, yeah, I fucking remember, sure. He's like, what about after she shifted?
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
the question.
and I was like, oh, and I was like,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
and I was like, I can't do it. And he's like, what if you're like right in the middle and she shifted during? I was like,
see, that's the 12 parsec question right there.
it's like, I guess you're committed.
Oh my god!
But he admitted to both, so he's a big Star Wars fan.
Of course, sounds like it. Jesus.
That is just wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Probably for good reason.
Yeah, you've trying to block it out.
Clones was just such a weak movie. I mean, it's man, it's like as good as Empire was. This was like.
Well, I was going to say, Ben and I had this conversation yesterday about the typical trilogy tropes, such as the middle chapter is always the lowest hanging fruit on the tree, and it always is like the most torn apart by critics in a lot of ways. And we pointed out like the exception, Empire. Empire is seen as like the zenith
it's the best
of the
one.
original trilogy.
So good.
And for this, I think this follows the usual trope. I thought, for me, episode 1. By the way, guys, there is an edit of episode 1 online called the anti-cheese edit, and they try to polish a turd. And I'll say this: it doesn't look so bad. Because they cut out a lot of the cheese, and they cut out a lot of Jar Jar, which always is a benefit. They cut out a lot of the stupid lines, and they actually edit in a few things that I didn't expect. I was like, wow, yeah, that actually works better there. And you see, from what it could have been, from what the prequel trilogy could have been. I mean, with the story of Darth Vader, this is why I keep saying they need to come back and they need to revisit these sometime down the road. I mean, because truth be told, this is what I think remakes should be. Remakes shouldn't be rehashes of already tremendous, almost perfect works. They should instead be reworkings of past works that had potential but were squandered by either bullheadedness or stupidity. I mean, that's really the thing I think they should do with remakes. Like, for me, ideal, like Micah mentioned this one, I think, a few videos ago, True Grit. The remake of True Grit is actually better than the original because it's more realistic, and it's actually closer to the source material. It's better. It's closer to the source material, and it's a better shot film. And Jeff Bridges versus John Wayne.
That's a tough one.
No,
that's a
dude.
tough one.
In terms of the better performance, Jeff Bridges, because it's John Wayne doing his traditional
It's
stuff.
John Wayne playing John Wayne.
Well, that's the thing, is basically John Wayne was big, so they made True Grit fit around John Wayne, just like they made Total Recall fit around Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Because Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall is nothing like the novella that inspired
No.
Total Recall.
Philip K. Dick.
Yeah. And you see, what they need to do is they need to do remakes and improve upon them and make them better. It's just like 310 to Yuma was also one that was a superior. I think the remake is superior than the original. Remakes that are better than the original are few and far between. It's because you're trying to improve something that was already near perfect.
Right.
I mean, because
that's the thing. It's like we're saying, being truer to the source material. The source material being 4, 5, and 6. Because like we were talking about, like the Anakin we see doesn't in any way resemble the Vader that we already knew.
No, and the jump that is made from Episode 1 to A New Hope. I mean, that is a drastic jump.
Yeah, and it's almost comical. It's like, in the Wizard of Oz movie where you pull the curtain and it's just like the little man with the controls. But see, that's supposed to. Well, it's supposed to be almost comical to the viewer, but not. This wasn't.
This wasn't, because Star Wars is a more serious taken story. The fan, like me, I'm a pretty big fan of it. Micah is a huge fan. Micah, I'd say you and Caleb are probably the biggest fans of Star Wars we know.
I just grew up watching it.
Yeah.
This may be like my personal take on the prequels, but they always seemed like much more like convoluted than they needed to be.
Yeah.
What the great thing about the original Star Wars is they had great stories and great worlds and everything, but it was just really simple, like deep down. Like it was all just easy to understand, and there wasn't like talk of treaties or like councils, or any
trade
of this
federations.
It wasn't about trade, senators, any of that. It was about like the wonder of the world, on how like beautiful this world was and how intricate and interesting this world was.
Yeah, and
that's
the
what
character
Star Wars
and the
is
character
to me.
interactions while they were on that world.
Dude, the charisma between the original like characters, between like Luke, Leia, and Han, it was beautiful.
And what was cool
They had
is
such
there
like,
was
chemistry.
there was all kinds of great stuff that came out continuing the story in the comics that they could have drawn from, and it's like they had all this really great writing there, and it's like, I don't know what happened with these movies.
Yeah.
I really
and
don't.
decide to use none of it.
And I know there's going to be like that one guy in the comments that says we're just original trilogy fanboys.
No,
and we need to show-
no. Here's the thing.
Like the original trilogy has its faults. Like there are some things that I will knock Lucas on because I really thought that he just like got into like wanting to sell action figures and stuff there towards the end.
Of course,
and he
with
like
the
really he
Ewoks
played up the
and
cheese with the
Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Yeah.
You know, I freaking
Ewoks.
love Ewoks, but they were really cheesy a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And
You remember the Ewok Adventure?
I
Yes.
do.
Dude, man.
Those are stupid.
I like
Super
it.
cheesy.
I like it. Like the
Super cheesy.
first one. The first one was
Are you
pretty
talking about the
good.
cartoon or the movie they made?
The movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Okay, the movie. Yeah, the movie.
Which
okay,
that was
but
weird because they introduced a bunch of mysticism into it, where the Ewoks had like force powers, basically.
Yeah. They had some.
But then they
interesting
made the
stuff.
cartoon that I watched that too.
I never
that
saw
was,
the cartoon.
which
yeah.
that was really kiddie, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. I actually liked it, but their whole presence in Jedi did give it less gravitas
Right.
than Empire.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it was
Absolutely.
just always kind of like.
And
Well, it was weird because you had the struggle of the light and the dark, and it's like, is Luke gonna turn?
And then Ewoks
and it was
thrown
like
in, sprinkled in,
you know, like like taking out dudes with rocks and stuff. It's like,
but
these
if
are
there's
guys.
if there's one bright side on the battle on the moon of Endor is that Chewbacca kicking ass.
Chewbacca's a
like
gangster.
getting up there and kicking ass and everything. And I love that. I mean, because he got gypped at the end of New Hope when he didn't get a friggin' medal. I guarantee you, him yelling there at the end of the A New Hope, that was him saying, "Where's my medal, damn it?"
Yeah.
Well, it's
F
like
you
and
guys.
like,
Thanks a lot.
ROTJ, man, it's like, you know, Luke totally throws the biker off the speeder bike, and he like hits a tree, and you know his brain just crushed into his skull. It's like bleh, mush, and then it cuts to, you know, Ewok like on a speeder bike like zipping around.
Yeah, Wicket and his
it's
like tomfoolery.
It's like just man.
Yeah, the juxtaposition.
Stuff like that.
rough.
It's disturbing.
rough.
It's just it takes away from the experience of the film,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what happened here. You see, the story itself is an interesting story. You know, the fall of Anakin Skywalker into the Sith Lord Darth Vader, but its execution is where it fell.
Like if they honestly they want to do like expanded universe stuff, where's the Shadows of the Empire movie? Because
Okay.
you want to talk about a game that got dark. I mean,
Oh gosh,
that was pretty cool, and
That was.
that happened in between.
Yeah.
the prequel trilogy and the original.
yeah, why can't that be a thing?
And there's a lot of good story in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope Disney does some like series
Well-
in the future of like expanded universe content. You know,
Well,
I think that would be really
I
sick.
think what Disney is doing right now, they're taking a careful route with a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're taking Rogue One seriously because they know how much the people love the expanded universe,
Mm-hmm.
and they also stopped production of most of the games. The only one that they really kept greenlit was Battlefront, which, understandably, you know, that's the most popular.
That's the flagship.
That's the
Yeah.
flagship
Now.
Star Wars series, but. When Battlefront came out and it didn't have a main story, it didn't have a campaign story, it made a lot of people mad.
Yeah.
But its multiplayer functions are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they also pretty much paused development on other games like Star Wars 1313 and also this other game that I think Visceral was working on as well. And the fact that they paused the 1313, which had the origin story of Boba Fett, which was awesome. It was pretty much like this ultra action platformer. It had you like as a like an unarmored Boba Fett, like going like hopping across these ships and like shooting people and everything. And it was like it played out a lot like Uncharted.
Yeah,
that's what it
nice.
felt like, and I liked that.
Yeah, that sounds
and
pretty sick.
for them to pause development on it, I was just like, And now that Battlefront was a huge success, and they're just like, oh, there's money to be made in the video games. So let's reassess this. And Disney's taking a business-centric route, but as long as they keep good to the source material and they do good work, which so far they've done with The Force Awakens and Battlefront, I mean,
I think they're on the right track.
I think they're on a good track, and if it keeps
a lot
going uphill.
better.
I mean, from how they've handled the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
from how they've handled them, that's just tremendous.
Plus, it couldn't be any worse than how the prequels were handled.
Yeah,
so it's only uphill from here.
Let's hope.
Also, I just realized that I said that Shadows happened between the prequel and the original trilogy, but it happened like basically concurrently with Empire through ROTJ.
No.
Oh
but
yeah, because you meet up with Luke at you're on the battle. You're on Hoth.
Calling it though. There's somebody that's going to pause the video after I said that and make a comment and not even watch the rest of it for me to correct myself. Calling it.
It's okay.
It happens all the time.
Hey, I agree. Hey, I agreed with you. I was just like, yeah. And then wait a second. I was like, wait a second. What?
Yep.
And then the conversation moved on. I was like, we'll get back to that point
I hate
later.
people who comment before they watch the full video. Like the people that
Of
watch
course.
like top 10 lists and like if number one's not this, I'm gonna flip. Just
and then it's just like, guys, come on, be patient.
Yeah.
All right, man. This was hard to watch.
Well, I guess that's gonna do it. Everyone, we're sorry, but if you made it this far, thanks for sticking with us.
Thank you.
We'll send you a Subway coupon.
We're gonna leave here and independently climb in the shower and cry for a good while. Not together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
Don't start writing any fanfics.
Not together?
No fanfiction.
No, not together.
No fanfiction.
Not together. Everybody just calm down.
Yeah. Calm your tits.
All right. Thank you for watching us, and hopefully we'll see you all very soon.